Everybody always asks what we do in the off season to get ready for hunting, and how do we stay consistent with our shooting. Well, we shoot 3D. The 3D we shoot is a little bit different. They don't use conventional scoring rings. They use what they call TK scoring rings. We got Jimmy here. He's the creator of it, and I'll let him talk a little bit about it. But I always get asked also, when I shoot an animal, I say, oh, that's a 15 all day. People are like, what are you talking about? Well, this hopefully will explain it.
Well, Wes, what we have here is this is the original format of the TK score rings. This is the basis of where it all started from. And what you have here is in the approximate location and size of the heart of the animal, which should be tucked right in behind the leg, is a 15 ring. And we'll get into a minute that 15 ring and that heart, both in real life and out here on the range, is not necessarily your friend. And just like in real life for a double lung, you pass through that over 2/3 of your kill zone, which is what most people want you to do, is shoot through that double lung area on that animal, or a double vital to put it down as quickly as possible. That's worth 12 points. Well, then in this particular situation, 10 points is the sliver of the liver. You get them a little bit further back, they're not going to go down quite as fast as that double lung, but you know, you've seen liver shot animals go down in 50, 60 yards to 100 for sure, So that's 10 points. But then the kicker to our scoring format, which is what makes this not your friend, is anything you hit outside of that is a -5. Well, people ask me all the time, why would you take points away from a shooter out here trying to compete? That's going to run them all off. Well, as you see, that's not happening. We keep growing with people because they like the concept. Because, Wes, if you take me down there and put you on your favorite hunting lease and I wound the biggest buck on the place, that's not a positive experience for either one of us. Right. I mean, even if we do find it, you ever cleaned out that gut pile? Yeah. Not very positive to me, you know. And so this is the basis of it. And then I'll flip this target around and try to show the camera here that we change the angles, because in real life you can't shoot every animal broadside. Right. Myself, sometimes I get frustrated watching some of the hunting shows because they stand there on animals that I would have killed 2 minutes sooner than they did go and turn broadside, because of the pressure that I feel like they get to make these ethical shots. And we'll get it, I think we filmed a segment out there, but we'll talk a little bit over that because it's kind of windy and stuff too, over ethics here in a minute. Right. But this here, see, if the heart is located where we said it is, which is right there, and you're going to come in from this angle, and I don't know if I got them lined up on camera, but you need those two fists in line for you to travel from here through to here. And so that's where this one is designed to be 60 degrees quartering away. So the shooter's actually going to come in from about this angle here. Right. And that's why the heart is all the way back here in this region. Is for the purpose of you've got to hit the animal here and let that arrow travel through the body. If you hit it up here behind the leg where you would on a broadside, you're not getting anything. Right. It's going to go out the other side. You're going to think you made a perfect shot and you can't find the animal.
Just straight meat.
Right. And so that's what it represents. And this 10 and 12 that we just talked about for a double lung on the other side, now it represents going in through the liver and out through the lungs. And then if you shoot too far forward, the way conventional score rings that come on the target are designed, if you quarter that animal away from you, shoot the same score rings, then see, I've got a 10 up here. For at best, you get one lung. But if you shoot too far forward, you're just getting shoulder and brisket and not a dead animal. And so everything we do is designed to train you as a hunter, not even necessarily as much on the conscious mind side of things, but your subconscious mind. Because you know as well as I do, out there in the woods, a lot of times you don't have time to think. You don't have time to sit there and go, well, this is where I'd shoot it on targets, but man, I need to move to here. And you need to be able to react, to what's happening there. And that's what this is about, is to teach you, the hunter, to be a better hunter, not to be a better target shooter. Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah. And the one thing that, of course, everybody gets caught up in competition. But if you come out here and you're like, well, I want to shoot the conventional targets. That's the mindset I have. But when you go hunting, if you take away the competition part of this and you aim for the kill shots, you're going to hit those 15s and those 12s. So it doesn't, if you take this and use this like you're hunting, if you're aiming for that exit point, which is what I do when I'm aiming at an animal to kill it, I aim for the exit. So if I need it to exit right behind that front shoulder on the opposite side, that's where the double lung is going to be, then you're going to have to hit back here. So this just adds points to it to make it fun, but this is what we consider a true form of practicing for hunting. But you also get the competition of it.
Well, and as we touched on right there, we'll flip this around. If I can not knock Wes's head off, it's okay. If you've got an animal quartering to you like this, and I think we filmed it on a wolf out there a while ago, but we're kind of refilming because we don't know if the wind allowed you to hear what I had to say. But as what you'll have is we have targets where the heart sets right here, then a kidney bean shape gives you a double lung, and then up here into the neck gives you a single lung. Yes, I know that you've been taught all your life that's an unethical shot. Well, ethics is defined by the person and by the moment. Because you and I can sit here and have a discussion over this all day long of whether or not this would be an ethical shot. But I know that the majority of you out there watching, if this is not a doe, if this is a buck with a rack that wide, and it's you, him, and God, you'll do things that you swear you wouldn't do. I always tell everybody, if you're behind the bow at full draw and this sentence goes through your mind, you never get to the word can. You just release the arrow. And so here's our theory. Practice this on foam before you practice it on flesh and blood. Right here's the heart, there's the double lung. Right here is a 10 ring for a single lung. And the fact of the matter is you have a kill zone that is that tall and that wide. If you can't hit this shot, quit shooting at turkeys, because turkeys are 95% meat and feathers. Only two ways to kill it. Find something the size of my fist, which is what their vitals are, right behind the leg, or cut its head off. So if you can't take this shot in your corn pile at 20 yards, quit shooting at turkeys. That's my theory.
And then that takes me back to that, aim for the exit shot. If you're going right here, the exit to be able to get that lung is going to be between these front two legs. Well, that's where the heart is. So if you're aiming there for that exit shot, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's just a matter of your comfort zone of how far you want to take that shot. For me, I'm with Jimmy, probably 20, 23 yards. Probably is the farthest I would shoot one quartering to me. But anything outside of that, I'm going to take the safer shot just because you got more room for error at a further distance.
Absolutely. And if someone else, because that's what I told you out there, inside 23 yards, I can hit my fist. Beyond that, I agree with you. Wait, let the animal turn. Take a different shot. Unless your personal skill level is that you can hit this at 40, then that's your choice. You have to know your equipment and your own personal skill level.
The thing is you talk about ethics. Ethics is only important to you. It's your ethics that matters. It's not what I think. It's not what Jimmy thinks. It's not what any of these other shooters think. If you know that you can do it, then it's ethical for you. Somebody else may come up and say that's not ethical. Well, it may not be ethical for them, but it is for you. So that's all that matters. Keep that in the back of your mind, and don't let other people get you down about what you can and can't do, because that's one thing I like about archery. It's personal. So I can do what feels right for me. I could care less what anybody else thinks.
Well, the fact of the matter is, that's the thing I've always said too. A dead deer in the back of your truck's a perfect 15 to me.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see you around somewhere.
Now, Jimmy's got shoots in Oklahoma, in Texas. He relies a lot of what he does on God, and so far, God's kind of pointed him in the direction where we'll have a little bit more in Texas. We'll know more next year. Keep an eye out on his website to see if where the shoots may be closest to you. If you've got enough interest where you live and it's not anywhere close by, call Jimmy. Give him a call and tell him I'd like to try it. He'll talk with you and tell you a little bit about how he sets up his shoots, and I'm sure that he wouldn't mind coming and visiting you if you've got enough interest in it. So his number will be on the bottom of the screen. Just give him a call, and I'll also put his website down there.
Absolutely. Just understand, as he said, I rely on the good Lord to call. I can't look you up. I can't get interest in you because of your range size or how small your range is. I don't care if it's an individual that wants to host or if it's the biggest club. I can't call you. I leave that all in God's hands. If he touches you through what you saw here and you want to be involved in that as a hunter, give me a call. We'll work that out. I just can't call you. Thank you.
Birdie.
There, I think we'll do it. Wes with a 12. I shot a 15. Wes, write them down. That's a couple of good shots right there. That's a dead bedded buck, let me tell you. Yeah. Two 15s, Wes. Good shooting right there. Got that right in the heart. Well, I just realized something that will make 20-inch stabilizer rule for the hunters class go ahead and stay. Because I built this one just to test it.
Yeah.
See if it's going to get in the way of your ground blind.
I got one more. One more.
Well, if it's in the way of the ground blind, so's your arrow before you draw.
Yeah.
So, because my arrow is almost exactly the same length as this stabilizer before I draw it. So that makes perfect sense that it's really not in the way out to that distance. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, just below it. $15 and a -5, Wes. Just barely got below that one. Stand here and you and I can tell the public all we want that we wouldn't take this shot. But when it comes down to a buck of a lifetime standing in a corn pile at 20 yards, we're going to do things that we swear we wouldn't do. And so the theory here is that, you know, if you can learn where the vitals is on an animal, make this shot ethical for you and practice it on foam. And if then you can make the shot, take the shot. If you can't make the shot, then you know that, hey, it is an unethical shot. But for example, I know for myself, animal walks inside 23 yards, 99.9% of the times I can hit the side of my fist. And as you see here on this wolf, you've got a kill zone that's nearly 8 inches tall and about 6 inches wide. Now, what that kill zone comes from is that the bone runs up the back of an animal's leg. It runs forward up into here, and then it turns a 90 degree and it comes back up here and attaches to the body and spoons out into that wide bone that we see on a deer. And therefore, what you have is in front of this, right here below that bone, you can get to that heart, going right in front of that leg. And then you've got your 12 ring, which is a double lung representation on this shot. See, I've come through here, I'm going to get the front of this lung and the back of that lung. Or if I'm over here into what looks like I'm up into this neck, if you follow it through these shoulders, I'm going to get one lung as I go through. So we give you 10 points for that. Then, of course, as we'll talk about later, and I think you'll show in a later segment, is, you know, outside of that's a -5. And, you know, you shot right here, I mean, with a broadhead, you hit the bottom of the heart right there. You're just going to rip that open.
Okay, we're going to start with Mighty Mite. Third place, she was here yesterday. Paisley Spivey.
Uncle Chris, right there.
Second place, Chase Marler.
There you go, Hot Rod.
I got 2 second place.
In first place, with a 401, Jake Coles.
Still a
That's the second of 4 for that another black bucket, isn't it?
He got beat out last year.
Oh, did he?
At state, yeah.
Okay. Well, run
He's
for it
on a
again.
vengeance this year.
There you go.